we're the number one athletic podcast where we help athletes develop proficiency and assist in their passion for the game they love. This is your host, Savell Laurie, but everybody calls me Coach Laurie. I have a very special guest today, and we're going to be talking about one of the topics that everybody wants to talk about. Everybody. How do you go pro? That's the name of the show. And that's the name of the topic today. How do you go pro? But the second part is how do you teach your kid how to go pro being a parent? So I have a very, very special guest. She has two professional athletes. Wow, two, not one, two. Uno, dos, dos chicos. She got two boys, and her name is Mari Biondi. How you doing, Mari?
Hi, pleasure being here. I'm fine. I'm doing great.
Thank you for.
Thank you for this opportunity here. I think maybe I can help some parents.
Well,
I hope.
I believe you can. First of all, can you give me just a little bit about you? Even though I know you're not the athlete, but I want you to just kind of give a little introduction of yourself so the listeners can know about you.
Okay, so I am, as you said, I'm not an athlete. I love to exercise, but I'm not an athlete. I am from Brazil. Um, I moved to US in 2017. I'll tell after, I moved after my son moved. And then I went to culinary school
Oh,
and graduated as a chef too. So,
hmm.
and I love to exercise and I love
Wow.
sports.
Wow. That's unique. So for all the parents that you're going to get some very helpful tips today from the very Miss Bionji. Hey, first question I want to throw at you. This is the very first question. Did you ever realize that your boys are going to be professionals? What was it? Did you just think they're going to be professional athletes, or is just something that happened? How did you come across two guys that are athletes that are professionals? How did that happen?
Okay, so first, I never thought they're going to be pro. That was not my call. That was their passion always. And I didn't
Hmm.
even think about it. For me, they will go after high school, they will go to college and they will work in a bank, in a advertising agents, I don't know, like regular people. I really
Right.
thought was going to be like that. And I have two very different kids. My son's one is now he's a professional golfer and play on the Corn Ferry Tour and some PGA Tour too. And the other one is a professional gamer. So he plays. Yes, he makes money playing video games. That's it. And
That's
so I never thought Fred, that's the golfer. I'm gonna separate because the stories are very different.
yes.
Fred
Right.
used to love to play since he was like 4. He used to play with my
Okay.
dad. I don't play golf. My husband doesn't play golf. So he used to play
Hmm.
with my dad that used to have a golf course here in Brazil.
Okay.
But he used to play like once a week for 1 hour or something. And here was very strange because the kids here, they play soccer, not golf, right? So,
Right.
but it was a passion. When he was 14, he asked me to go to a golf clinic in Port St. Lucie, Florida,
Okay.
and for 6 months. So
Hmm.
actually, he went when he was 12 for a summer camp. And then they called me and said, "Can your son stay for 6 months?" I said, "Of course not. He's 12." And then he went next year with 13, stayed for a month, wanted to stay again. And I said, "Okay, next year you can stay 6 months." So with 14, he went for 6 months and he never came back. So,
Wow.
so he doesn't live with me since he's 14. He was
Hmm.
living after 2 years. I moved to US. That's why I moved then. But he kept living in the academy
Hmm.
and went to college playing golf on the team and was
The rest is history, huh?
the rest is history. Yes, and the
Wow.
gamer, I didn't even know that this was a profession. I mean, for me, I used to take the internet out of the outlet, like saying, "You're gonna stop this now," and he said, "Mom, I'm in the middle of a tournament." I said, "I don't care. You're not gonna play now. You're gonna sleep. You're gonna study." Or he was in the dark room with the headphones playing the whole day.
The whole
How could
day.
I imagine that this is like a profession? No, no. Okay, you can. you can play professional after college, I used to say.
Right.
But then, so he really did this because was his passion, because
Mm.
I was always pushing him to the other side.
Wow.
I never thought he was going to be. And he did it. He made it. He went to college. He
Okay.
didn't do anything. So for 6 months, and then he had two offers for to
Okay.
play professional, and that's it.
Wow. Wow. Well, you gave me a lot to deal with right now, and I really appreciate it because
So
I have
I
to
said like kind of
I gotta
fast, but I
I
think
know, but I gotta
making
separate both of
pictures.
them now because you gave me a lot, so I gotta remember I'm talking about mom, the advocate, and I'm talking about two different athletes. So let's
Yes.
talk about Fred first, the golfer. So, the very first time, what was it like, Fred, first time playing golf? And what was it when you first seen him play golf with your own eyes? What was it like? Because remember, you live in a country where they play soccer or football.
Yes.
Football. So, what is it like for Fred the very first time you see him kick a ball? Or what did you think the first time?
I thought it was cute. He was playing with, yeah, he was
It's cute.
playing with my, there's a noise here. It's okay. Can I stop the noise?
Yeah.
I
Go
don't know
ahead.
what's going on. Just
It's
a
okay.
minute. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. She's okay. She's just gonna take a quick break. Something's going on, and if you just tuned in, this is the
I am
You Going
back.
Pro podcast, and Marty
Sorry.
Biondi is
Beyond.
back. Okay,
Yeah.
so Marty,
Okay.
what was it like seeing your son for the very first time at 12 years old golfing in
I
a country that plays football?
I just thought was cute. He was always like with my dad. As I told you, my dad used to have a golf course with 11 holes in a farm,
Mm,
beautiful. And so he used to go, all the kids used to go and like hit some balls, like two, three, four. And then they would go do another thing. And Fred would stay. He would
okay.
stay sitting in the golf cart for 4 hours just watching. And he used to hit his balls. And so he was like this. We used to call him like a Buddha. And then he started taking classes, but it was only Wednesdays for 1 hour because his school was like from 8 to 5 almost. Only Wednesday he used to leave at noon. So this day he will go to a club here and to take classes. But really was his passion.
Mm,
And during weekends, sometimes I remember that. And I used to saw, then he started going to tournaments, right? Like kids tournaments. People say, oh, he has to go. He has a talent. I said, oh, okay. And then I used to see parents like pushing these kids, right? And I used to say, oh, you're going to play Sunday again? No, no. Sunday is to stay with family.
right.
So really, he has his own merit. Does this exist, this word? Yes, because that was not on me. I mean, that was really something that he liked, and he used to hit like when something was he didn't do like good in one shot. He used to stay after and keep doing for like hours, hours.
Mm,
And sometimes I remember that I was like, Fred, it's gonna take too long. So it was him.
wow. So let's reverse that question back to now. Let's talk about your other son, Leo. So how do you? I mean, like you said, I mean, a gamer sits in a room all day. He just plays all day. I mean, I don't even know how to direct this question because it's kind of interesting. I have never interviewed someone or know someone that's a professional gamer. So let's talk about Leo for a quick second. When did Leo start playing video games? Like the normal age most kids play, early age.
Yes, but like in the beginning, another day I was looking at some photo albums, like vacations, and all the time he was with a Game Boy, with a
Mm.
PS, whatever, these little Game Boys.
PS4, PS3, whatever it
Yes,
was.
every like in the pool, everybody in the pool, and he was with the little things sitting like that. and he's the youngest of the cousins, and he used to, you have to go to through phases, to, right? Unlock. He used to unlock for everyone, you know. So, but I mean, that was just a game, right? For
Right.
me, it was just a game. And then he
Mm.
started playing in computer. When we moved to US in 2017, that's when he started playing, I think, the game that he plays, because it's not that he plays video game. When you, it's like, I don't know if you know something about gaming. I didn't know, but I know something now. uh, you play one game in one position. It's like if you play uh, soccer and you are a goalkeeper, that's what you do. So he plays Rainbow Six and he is support. That's his role, you
Wow.
know.
And they get paid
So
to do that.
yeah, so and then he started playing, and in his mind he knew that what he want to be, but for me that was so like out of question.
Correct. Correct. And
So
most.
I'm not gonna lie, it was very, very hard for me in the beginning. Very
Mm.
hard. Like when he said, when he dropped college for me, I think I cried for a month. Really,
Wow.
until he got like an offer, and then I realized that, and then he got an offer. They paid for everything for him to move to Vegas. He used to live like in a huge house in Vegas with the team, with coach, assistant coach,
Wow.
analyst coach,
Wow.
mentor coach, and we they were paying like a salary for him. And when I saw all of that, then I said, okay, so now that's it. No more college. That's
Right.
and and he's doing this.
Wow. So you talked about your son, Fred, the golfer, and you talked about the very first time he came to Miami, or very first time he was here, Port St. Lucie. I'm sorry, I think that's what you said. And you
Yes.
talked about the very first tournament. When were you there at the first tournament he was there? Was you there the first tournament, or did you go to the
No.
second tournament? So let me ask you this question: as he was, when his first tournament coming, he was very at a young age. What was it like for you as a parent, knowing that wow, my son is in another country with someone that I don't really know, and I'm just, because you said the first time you didn't let him go for 6 months, but the second time he went. What was that like? For a mother or any parents that are got their kid at a young age. What was it like for
Because
you to?
I just thought he was going to stay for 6 months. So I was looking at that as an exchange student. Like I was an exchange student, but I went with 15 to 16,
Okay.
but not for sports, like to a high school in a family house. So I understood that that was kind of like an exchange student thing, that he was playing golf. He was living in that academy. The academy was very safe and kind of small. They had tennis and golf. They were like a lot like a family, but I wasn't there. I wasn't there during the tournaments. I used to receive pictures, and then when the 6 months were like this for him, not for me, and then he didn't want to come back. He was
Wow.
crying and saying, "Mom, the summer tournaments or the winter tournament, I don't remember. All the tournaments
Right.
start now. That's my chance. Now I have to stay." And then I said, "No, you're not going to stay." And then my husband said, "To be average, I'm not going to lose my son here to be average."
Mm.
After this, he won every single tournament, and he
Wow.
won best player in Florida from the age of 13 to 15. That was in his category, and 16 to 18.
Mm.
So
Wow.
so I went to US just to see, like, to the ceremony when he was receiving this, with speeches, with a lot of things, like, and I realized that I couldn't bring him back because here I wasn't able to give the same opportunity for him here. But I wasn't thinking about professional.
Right.
I'm
Right.
I'm being like super honest. I've never was thinking about I was just thinking about college. because he said, I want to play golf in college with a scholarship. So was, from that, I
Right.
was thinking about college. That's it. Said, okay, to get in a college there with a good college, with a scholarship, it's better if he's living there. I
So that,
only
that
thought about professional in his last year of college.
okay. So let's talk about that. So he went through quite a few leaps and bounds compared to most people, because most people don't go through this route with your son going through. I think your son was extremely blessed. I mean, he's gifted, he's blessed, and things just worked out for the good for him. So for parents, how would you what would you tell a parent that's trying to be in your shoes? Because you know how parents are now, um, Marty. You know they always trying to push their kids to become pros. Even though this show is called the You Going Pro Show, but we're trying to help the kid on this show. We develop help kids become proficient. That means get the highest level in every aspect of their life, not just sports. Because I love your approach, but for parents that are coming or trying to get in your shoes, what would you suggest them at a and what age is a good age? You know, because 12 is that's not really young for most kids. You know, here
Oh
you
my
know how
God,
it
I
is
was
here.
so
You know
young.
how it is. I mean, you know how it is. So what advice would you give a parent that is trying to get their kid or at a point that they're at a camp and they trying to get to the next level? Should they push them or should they just how do you deviate those things?
Well, um, I'm gonna tell what worked for me. For me, it
Okay.
worked like not thinking. I wasn't thinking about being professional yet. So I think maybe if you make like break in steps. So first you have to be good in high school or play in the team, and then go to a college. And in college, you're gonna see if you can be a pro or not. Because the thing, like, you have the all these tournaments with all the, the college, so you're gonna compete with your team, with other college and everything. I think then you can see, but there's no way for me that a parent can push this, because I think that what I saw with some friends. I had a friend that had a tennis player. He
Okay.
was amazing. He got full scholarship to Harvard. He was accepted there, playing tennis, and he tried to go pro. And his parents were so pushy and everything with him. He just now doesn't go inside a tennis court. He doesn't
Wow.
get a racket anymore.
Wow.
It's just like that. That's it for me. Both kids, the
Mm.
oldest one and now the youngest one, he just he doesn't even want to go to college playing tennis, and he
At all.
really good at all, because the parents were like, you cannot go on vacation, you have to practice, you have to do this, you have to do that. So I think this is hard on a kid, because uh, I'm seeing now, when you look at TV, like the professional golf players and the live or tennis players too, they have the tour. My son lives in the airplane.
Wow.
So you have to love what you're doing, because it's not easy.
Mm.
Yesterday they canceled all the flights because of the weather. So he was supposed to be in one place, but he's in another place. Then you have to change. 2 a.m. he was arriving in
Wow.
his hotel. So it's you have to love it to keep doing.
Right.
You
And
know?
Marty, you would say it's probably more to what people think, because people think it's thought the money, the money. You know how people think, oh, it's the money, it's the glamorous life, my life's gonna be better. And with that being said, that was a very helpful tip. So how do you handle a mom or a dad when they have a kid that wants to be a professional gamer? Now you have to be a pro at this one. Now I can't even answer, Marty. There's nowhere close that I can give you. I can't even think of getting an answer for this one. That's a good. I'm looking at my question. I'm thinking, Marty, how do you tell a parent? How do you prepare for a professional gamer? Okay, you know how. Come on, let's be honest. These kids love video games. You know that they love
I know,
games.
because now they come to me, and someone say, like, I'm with friends and say, oh, her son is a professional. I told you, mom. I told you I can play. And I said, oh, no, 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 no. It's not, I mean, because if you look like they stay for so long playing games for nothing, it's a waste of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now he practice like 8 to 10 hours a day.
Whoa, 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 wait, whoa, Marty, slow down.
Wait,
Wait.
how long do you work? You go to 9 to 5.
Correct. That's work. That's 8 hours.
But it's his work now.
Oh Lord.
It's work. So I cannot even go inside the room and say, come on, go outside. I'm working.
So,
And the thing is that I don't pay the bills anymore for them, for both of them, you
mm,
know.
so it's
So
different.
they have their own money now.
Right, right. It's different now. It's a totally different mind game. It's a totally different aspect. I mean, Marty, but I, I, I don't even
I
know how.
lost I lost control, especially the other one was like he graduated in finance. Fred playing golf.
Okay.
He graduated with honors in finance. He was always like super dedicated and studying, coming back from tournaments. He was studying and playing. All the teammates were like sleeping or they were doing majors that were easier for an athlete, like
Right.
education or market, not finance, right? So I never had to do anything with him, but with the
Mm,
youngest, with Leo, oh my God, there was
wow.
a lot of trouble during high school.
So this is a very, very, very good interview. And for the people that just tuned on, this is the You Going Pro podcast, the number one athletic podcast in the world, because we help develop proficiency in assisting our players for the passion of the game they love. And also, one other thing I want to say to you, when you're dealing with a gamer, let's talk about a gamer, a professional gamer. Her son name is what's your son's name? His
Okay,
his
it's
his
Leo. So it's Leo Biondi, but
his professional
his
name.
nickname, name in the game, it's Kino. It's
Kino. Okay.
Kyno, Kino.
Kino.
He's
So,
known as Kino. His jersey is Kino.
okay.
And you should see. I went to Manchester to watch him playing a tournament in the States. He traveled all around the world. He went to Paris, Berlin, Sweden, Montreal, in US, Brazil. I mean,
The list
everywhere.
goes on and on.
And then he was in a tournament in Saudi Arabia. No, but he was in Manchester, and I was close to him. And he went to stage because you have to qualify and go to quarterfinals or to go to the main stage, where like with the
Right.
arena and everything. So for the first time this year, I went to watch him at the stage, and I was like so impressed because like it's crazy.
Wow. That's
People
that's
screaming his name and they going like stars,
mm, wow.
giving autographs. And I said, "Oh my God, I didn't know this word exists."
Mm,
So what I would say to parents, like we have to hear what they want to tell us.
mm-hmm.
Of course, it's super hard because it's not something that it's not professions that we are used to, right? But it has to come. The gamer I didn't support a lot before, nothing, only after. But but you support them, but don't push them.
Mm. I like that what
I
you said,
wouldn't
Marty.
push.
You said support them, but don't push them.
You
Okay.
push in
So
school. You push
correct.
when they have to study.
Okay.
But this, it's about them because our kids, it's not our project. It's it's a word
Mm.
project. It's
I
not
like that.
it's not what I want them to do. It's what they're gonna do, you know.
Wow. That's powerful. I mean, because you said don't push them. But so let me ask you this question. So let's talk about Fred. Okay. So for the parents that will say, well, Marty, if I don't push him, it won't get done. So is that like a thin line or something? You know the difference
Um,
between motivating and pushing. There's a two difference.
it's different. What I think is that if to be a pro, it's not only being good or talent. You have to work really hard every day. every day,
Every day.
every day, in your mental, in your whatever your game, in the gym, and with you
Yes.
have to pay attention
Eating.
what you eat. So it's something that you really need to want. I cannot control what Fred's gonna eat, when he's going. He has to want that so bad that he will do it for himself. You
Wow.
know.
I like
So
that.
you,
I like
how
that.
can you to if you want to be like play good tennis or something, it's fine. Then you have to go to class. Your parents can push you, but like to be a pro, to to stay there, it's so hard that it has to come from you, from inside.
Mm,
And it's not
wow.
only about talent. I think talent it's less than everything else.
Wow. That's good. I mean, you're 100% correct, Monty, because I coach, and people think it's always just talent. It's just talent.
You
It's
know,
not just talent. It's not just talent. And you talked about something which leads me to the next question. You talked about you being a chef. I didn't forget that because I'm a chef, but not as professional like you. I
but
went to
I'm not.
chef school.
Yeah.
I went to chef school. I can cook and I love to cook. It's like therapy.
Yes,
So, okay, so let's rewind. Let's talk about Fred. So you got this kid from Brazil. He has a gift. He's playing, and just talk about you being a chef. You can cook. You know what to cook, and you talked about working out because you work out, which I pick up
yeah.
these things. So how do you train a kid, and when do you train a kid? At what age do you train a kid? The importance of we talked about talent, but what do you eat? Because let's be honest, most parents they live their dreams through their kids for the most part. Not a lot of them, not everyone, but a lot, and they think they're gonna eat McDonald's, Taco Bell, Wendy's, you know, Pizza Hut. And no disrespect to those places, but
I
it's a
know.
time and a place for everything. So how do you teach?
You cannot be an
Okay, so
athlete and eat these things.
yeah, so how do you teach these parents from your perspective? Because I mean, you may not be an expert, but you're already there. You may not be an expert, but you're there. You know that you know what it gets to get there. Like you said, to get there is one thing, like you said, to be professional, but to stay there is another thing. So what do you tell parents about the eating preparation and the mental preparation as a professional athlete that plays a sport, not gamer? What would you tell them?
Okay, I think the best way to show your kid and teach your kids something is with example. So with food, they always had an example at home, and with working out everything also, because I work out almost every day. Um, I pay attention with what I eat. It's not that I only eat, but yes, I pay attention what I eat. So the food in my house was always healthy. I
Right.
cook, and it's like I don't do I meals that are ready, or sometimes, of course. But I mean, it's so easy to make like chicken breast or salmon or something. It's fast too. So I was like this before. So for them, this part, I don't know, was easy. But what I would advise for a parent that think that their kid can be a profession, first thing, get a mental coach or a
Say it again.
psychologist, a
I didn't
mental
hear you.
coach or a psychologist.
A mental
Um,
coach. Okay.
I don't know if you saw now we have the Rebecca Andrade, the gymnast at the Olympic Games that was second and all around after
Mhm.
Simone Biles, and then in the floor she was first and Simone was second.
Okay.
So
In
she
Brazil,
came
from
from a
Brazil,
very
correct?
from Brazil. She came from a very very poor family, and she was, and I was like really impressed with her mental, and she was like, was, especially here in Brazil, our athletes doesn't have all that support. So when I saw she was talking, and then she said, I have a psychologist since a mental coach since I am 13.
Wow.
And that's the big difference, because my kids they both have now, but for Fred, the golfer, was very hard in the beginning because he used to say that the problem was not his mental, was not emotional, that the problem was his swing, was the mechanical, and was I think only now he understood that the importance of this because if you're not here, especially when you turn pro, if you don't have the confidence and everything, you're not going to play.
Mm, that's good.
So
I mean, that's really good. I
for
mean,
me,
you hit it
I would
perfectly.
love to get this advice before, like when you still can push something, push a mental coach
Right. I
and
mean,
leave to them
but
because
you said
we as parents, we cannot say these things.
right,
You know,
right.
it's not the same.
But Marty, you said something. I caught what you said, and you talked about the woman. The What's the lady name in Brazil that took second?
Rebecca
She
Andrade,
Rebecca,
the gymnast,
and she's a
Rebecca.
gymnast,
Yes.
a gymnast, and she won a silver
She won
behind.
silver all around behind Simone's, and in the floor, she was first. Simone was second. So
And so
I don't know. They
think about
saw,
this.
yeah,
I mean, because
she
think
was
about what you
amazing.
just said. But you said something in the beginning that I caught. I don't know if people heard what you said, but you said that in Brazil, you don't have the resources, and she probably didn't have all the money, but she hired a mental psychology coach for
I,
mental.
yeah,
And and that's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful because
I
that
don't
goes to the
know if the
question that
confederation, like of the sports, was paying for her because this is expensive. Like here, if this woman was doing for her, I don't know, in the beginning, right? Because when she was 13, the family didn't have any money, but they they made it work, and she is what she is now because of this. And in an interview, she talked about this.
wow, that's powerful. I mean, but we need to get that same interview over here to the You Going Pro podcast, and I blast it out because these parents, and like I said, this doesn't mean for every parent, but a lot of parents, they think it's just about the talent. It's just about the
No,
talent, and we've said that over and over throughout our show. We just talked about that. We talked about the talent. That was one of the last things we talked about is the talent. But you talked about the psychological part, the mental part. Now let's talk about the eating part. So, for a parent that does not have the money, they say they don't have the money, Marty. They say they don't have the money. Remember, okay, think about this, and let's pick a woman for just. I'm not trying to pick on women, but let's use women for example, because I had another show earlier and a couple episodes ago, and we talked about this subject. But you are the pro right now because you're the pro mom. So you've experienced it, and you know
I
what
am
it.
not. I wish
Right,
I
but
would have like a book to say, okay, now I have to do this.
but you're there to see the lifestyle changes, to see what is, like you said earlier in the interview, we talked about not just getting there but staying there and maintaining there, because now it's not just a hobby, it's a job. This is something that we do because we love it. So with that being said, how would you tell a parent, a single parent, or someone that doesn't have the income, they say they don't have the income, they need to get
Maybe
a
they
better
don't.
nutrition? I'm sorry.
Maybe they don't. Better nutrition. I know to eat healthy is much more expensive than to eat fast food, right?
Okay. Right.
And um, and in US, even I see that even in schools, sometimes the food is bad. They have the options for a lot of fast food, right? So I don't know. I don't know. This is hard because it's easy. It's easy for me to say, oh, okay, just put healthy food in your house. Just put a lot of fruit is more expensive than a package of Doritos,
Right.
you
Right.
know? So I understand that it's hard, but maybe you can try to what? To ask for help for a coach that can see that your kid is good, you
Correct.
know? I am sure a lot of people could help with that.
Right.
You know?
You're right. You're
And
right,
even
Marty.
like maybe the coach will say, "Oh, okay, this girl is good. She needs to eat better. Let's see let's see if the school can organize something, or I don't know.
But you're right. But this is the next question. The problem is this: parents don't like to ask for help.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, well, I don't want to ask because such and such. But if you see that your kid is have the potential, not something that you like, but something that she or he
Hmm.
can do very well, it's time to, I think personally, to get the pride out the way, just move the pride out the way and say, hey, you know what, coach or whoever this person may be, hey, I can you give me some assistance on this, or can you direct me in the right path? Because at the end of the day, it's for your kid, and most parents do what it
But
takes for their kid.
think the opposite too. Maybe
Okay.
this coach can see that that family doesn't have the how to do this better, the food and everything, and they can approach. So
That's true.
it's like two ways,
Correct.
right? Or not only the coach, the school. So I don't know, but it's like
That's
it
true.
can be the other way too,
But it can be
right?
done. What we're saying,
Actually,
it can be done.
the school, if these kids have lunch in school, the school should offer this, but they don't.
They don't. We know that. So, I'm gonna talk about. What was the transition for Leo, since he's been gaming for so long and playing video games so long. What did you tell? I mean, is there a certain age that I mean, is there an age that
Yes,
you become a pro, a
yes.
gamer?
In his game, in his specific game, you can only play pro when you are 18.
Okay.
So you can play before the game, you can play, they play online, but like not actually his game. He couldn't go even in non-pro, like in like challenger something under. He couldn't play tournaments before 18.
Hmm. So what?
So
So how do you prepare for
his game
that?
is different.
How do you
So
prepare for that?
um, he was 17. He got in college. He turned 18. He went to college. He went to Vermont. I said, okay, you're gonna do something like computer science. He didn't want to do computer science. He didn't want to do coding. He want to play. You know. So we tried to put him like in a way that we thought it was better, closer to computers or things. But and you know what? What I learned after that I didn't know, because I used to say, "Oh, you turn pro? Okay, finish college and then you turn pro." That's not the reality in this game, because the his game his game is one of the most difficult games that exist in this world, in gaming. Okay,
Okay.
because it's super fast. um, it's a lot of strategies and things. So it's, you have to not only do like motor skills, you have to think and fast, super
Mm-hmm.
fast. And here has to be synchronized, like has to be, and you have an age of the synapses. It's
Mm-hmm.
the same between the brain and your
Your abilities.
motor skills, your
Mm-hmm.
ability.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this start getting, if you don't practice, start going down when you are 25. So if if you are not like, because we are talking about, it's super fast, you know.
Wow.
So when it's not the same, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's, we don't know, like if he's playing since then, probably is not going to go down with 25 because he's using so much. I don't know, because there's not a lot of history about this too, right?
Right. Right.
The
This
players
hasn't
are
been
still young.
correct. I
So he's
understand that.
22 now, so he's been a pro since 18.
So he's been a pro for 4 years. So
Yeah,
now let's go back to Leo. I mean, let's go to Fred.
right.
We're gonna go to Fred now. Let's go back to Fred, the
I
professional
I
golfer.
I only realized that Fred was going to be professional on his last year of college because he was
And he
studying
went.
so
Did he go
hard.
4 years?
He went 4 years in University of Florida. He was a Gator. He used to play for the team, full scholarship, super good student. And then he had 1 or 2 years that he was sometimes not. It's like the team. I don't know if you played for a college too. It's like in a golf team they have in his school like 13 to 15 players, but only five plays tournaments. So you have to qualify
Wow.
inside your team for every tournament.
I didn't know
So
that.
it's you are competing all the time, right? And in the beginning, Fred was not qualifying for the tournaments. There was
Mm.
he got like 1 year that he was doing bad, and then on his last year, suddenly he started to be qualifying for everything, winning and winning, and he won the nationals, the NCAA. He won the national as an individual and as a team with his last. He made the last putter, and the team won too.
What year was that?
So 2022.
Oh, it was recent, not long ago.
Yeah, because he's
Not long ago.
24.
Okay.
So yeah, well, I was there. I was watching. We were in Scottsdale in Arizona, and the Nationals is like big deal, right?
Yes. Yes.
All schools, the best schools, Stanford, Vanderbilt, all the schools were there. All the best players were there, and he won everything. So
Wow.
he
Thank
went.
God.
So he got his professional card to play the tournament, the PG card, straight from college.
Wow.
He
That's
was in
good.
college. Next tournament, he was a pro.
Mm. Well,
And yeah,
Marty,
but
that's
then
go ahead.
then the thing starts. Then
So
the
let
main
me ask. So let me ask you this question because we jumped around because we got two
yeah,
pros, and I'm looking at my notes trying to figure out how to go with this question.
okay.
So Fred, okay, he went through this process. He was 12 years old, got an invite to St. Port St. Lucie from Brazil. He comes over. The first didn't go the first time, went the second time. He wanted to go for 6 months. So then after that, so let's talk about his high school process. So when he was he in homeschool? Did he homeschool? And then after that, how did he train to get prepared to get that scholarship to University of Florida? How did that happen?
Okay. So he went when he moved to stay 6 months. He was 14,
Okay.
and he was doing um, online school there. So he used to live in this academy that was in Port St. Lucie. It used to be a
Okay.
Club Med academy. It's not Club Med anymore. It's another name. And the kids, they have a facility of like a school inside, but it was each one who has his own stuff. And he was doing online school.
Okay.
But after that, after he decided to stay more than 6 months, in the beginning was more 6 months, was not forever, but he said that he didn't want to keep studying in this online school, and they won't give us the student visa
Okay.
because as a Brazilian, he needed a student visa, and only like schools would give that. The online school wouldn't give this anymore.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, they used to, but after the 9/11, people they saw that people were using this, saying that
For
they were
other reasons.
students to get a
Okay.
visa. So he went to a school that was close to the academy. There
Okay.
was a very small school, a school that didn't have any of the honors classes or IPs or classes to prepare you for college.
Okay.
And he was doing great in that school, but and he didn't need to go in the afternoon. They had a special thing like that they only study from until 1, something like this. So they had the whole afternoon to practice. But
No.
the thing is that to apply for a school when you are an athlete and you want to play in a team, it's different. You apply, the coach has to come after you. Of course, you have to do the SAT or you have to apply for a school after, but before the coach has to like you, said, I want this guy on my team. And then you apply,
Okay.
you know.
Okay. That
So
makes sense.
but he
And he
didn't
got a
have
full
like
ride
extra
to,
classes or things. It was like,
so he went from online school to a regular school to a regular school. Then he got an offer to go to University of Florida, full ride, everything paid for, which that's a blessing within itself. And then he had to go through the process of making the team. Like you said, there's like 13 on the golf team, and
they
only
are
five get
they
to.
are all on the team, but they have to each tournament they have to qualify for these five guys that would play the tournament, the best ones.
Well, so basically, you just because you made the team, you still gotta prove yourself. Bottom line, you still gotta
Always.
beat the other.
That,
And
so
so,
that's
how
what
do
I
you?
said, that the hard work never ends.
Mm,
You know,
right, because I mean, you need to
so
tell the parents
that's
that
why you
because you're
really
right.
want to love that.
Right. That's why you keep telling saying he has to love it so much because if he doesn't, it's really not it's not worth it. You're just kind of going through the motions, I guess. I mean, but how did okay, when he first had his first meet as a professional, what how did you respond to that? How did you and your husband respond to that?
When he has the first one,
His first professional meet match.
um, for the for me the experience that was like the most, and it was close to a professional. He wasn't a professional yet. It was his last year. He was still in college, but he qualified to play U.S. Open as an amateur.
Okay.
And then I was here in Brazil, and then we went there. My dad, that is the one that was responsible for him playing. My dad went, my brother-in-law. So we all went to was in Boston. For me, that was the first experience of, even if he was not a pro yet, he was close to be, but I mean, he was not. All the environment, all the players that you see on TV were playing just by his side, and I had like a green badge that I could go everywhere. So I was like in love with that badge. I could eat with all the players and everything, and it's a huge tournament. It's like
Mm,
thousands and thousands of people that go there. So for
wow.
me, that was the experience that I will always remember. Even he was playing as an amateur. I was
Mm,
like, and for him too, I think was his first experience, like, because it's U.S. Open's a major, right? We
right.
have four majors,
Right.
so was amazing.
Amazing experience. So basically, for the parents, he still hasn't changed. He's still the same young man he was,
Oh, yeah.
because sometimes money changes people, which we know that. Money does change people sometimes. So for a kid that's professional, what would you tell him if he just turns pro on anything? What would you tell him so he doesn't lose his character? Doesn't How do you teach a kid that has just become a professional? What do you tell them that can be life changing?
Well, that's a
That's a
lot of
big transition.
responsibility.
Yeah, it's a big
um,
transition.
I I don't know. I don't think I had to say this to my kids because it was just happening. And you turn pro, but what changes for them is the responsibility that they have now. Like for Fred was very hard when he turned pro for his mentor, because suddenly he's so responsible with everything, and suddenly he thought about, oh my god, now I'm on my own. Because when you're in college, someone you just have to be on the golf course with that uniform that someone says today you're going to use this uniform, right? But when you are, the sun is coming, when you are um, on your own, it's a lot of decisions that you have to make, right? So just be close to the right people. Both of them, they have an agent,
Hmm.
different, of course, but I think this helps a lot because this guy that will organize his trips, his schedule. Sometimes he had like exams of PGA tournaments, so to see if it's worth it or not. To you know, so. But I don't think I never had problem, and especially because they still need to do a lot, make a lot of money too. to change their character.
Right. Correct. Correct. And
They're
but
only the beginning.
and I think also Marty is because his where he comes from, small beginnings. You don't come from a wealthy family. Everything's given to you. I mean, because that changes you a little bit. Far as I have to work harder to maintain it or stay at a certain level because I know what it's like not to have it. So I need to continue to keep excelling mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, socially. That has to happen because, I mean, it's like having a regular job and you're working your dream job. If you're working a dream job, you finally got this dream, you remember what the small beginnings are. Just say, I wanted to be a chef. Well, I know my parents don't have much. I know we don't have a lot. So everything that I get, I'm going to appreciate it. And I'm going to make sure that I take care of it. And I surround myself around the right people, like you said, and listen to the right people,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of kids nowadays, they get easily distracted, which that easily distracted. So that goes to the next question when I'm talking about the gamer. So what distracts him because he's a gamer? I mean, what
Um,
distracts him? Because, I mean, think about it. Let's just think about the typical world where kids play video games all the time. Okay? So what distracts him for a person that's trying to become a professional gamer? What do you tell a parent, or what do you say? How do you I don't that's the hard one.
like what distracts him, like takes he's out of his
Yes.
path.
Yes.
Well, not going out of the computer, because okay, he has to practice um, 8 hours, but then you have the rest of the day. And sometimes what still drives me crazy is that when he's not practicing and he's still playing other games, his life is a lot inside the computer. His friends are inside the computer. So what I have to do is like push him out. You know, there's a life here outside. You have to do all the things here.
Mm.
So I try to make him exercise and work out. This is the hardest part.
Mm.
He
So
doesn't.
you're trying to get him have more social skills besides the computer.
Yeah, he does have social skills in it, but he's happy inside his computer, you know. So to go out more, like he's in Miami now. Leo, go to the beach. But he's getting better now.
But he's
But
young too. But he's young, like you said. I mean, I was young at a time, and when you find something you love and you stay in it so long, it's like you don't want to let it go. I just
yeah,
can't let it go. But I've learned this because Marty, I've learned this because I coach some kids that all they do is online school. I mean, they do
oh,
online school every day, all day, and they sometimes have challenges when it comes to cultivating conversations with other people or interacting because they're so used to their own little comfort zone. What I would say, and so that's some of the things I've noticed. Because when I was younger, we didn't have online school. We had to go to school.
yeah.
we, didn't, we didn't have online school. So, well, that leads me to one more question, and I want to say thank you again. I mean, for the guys and girls that just tuning on to the You Going Pro podcast, I have the very own Madi Biondi, and her son is Fred Biondi and Leo Biondi. I don't know Leo's his sidekick name, but
Kino.
Kino is a professional gamer, and her son is a professional golfer. So we're talking today with the mother of the two professional athletes, how to be a pro. So Madi, I have two questions left, and I want to say thank you again. Next question is this: is there any tips that you would give a parent that is dealing with a kid that wants to be a professional? I mean, a tip that you haven't said, something else that you have not said that you might think that parents need to get a hold to. Because you also said this, and I'll never forget this: let the kid, if he wants it or she wants it, let them do it. Anything else you can tell the listeners that can be very helpful for parents that they don't think about?
Um, I don't. I don't
Because you
know. I
talked about
think
the health, you talked about health, you talked about, the one thing you didn't talk about is distractions, because most people are not going to be professional gamers, but some people may be professional athletes as far as playing a sport, like physically playing.
that
So
is
is
much
there,
more. Yeah.
'cause it's more common. So my question
I,
is, let me
I didn't
rephrase that
have to
question from,
deal a lot with like parties and alcohol and things like that with them. So was easy for me. It's not that I said a lot for them. I don't know. They were just not this kind of kids.
okay.
And like when Leo turned 21, I went to he was living in Austin. I went there for his birthday. I said, "Okay, your first legal drink." Of course, they drink before, but your first legal drink. And I was with all the friends, and he ordered water. So that's how they are. So I'm not a I. They were just like this, but of course there are other distractions, but they have to have some because I think if they only do that, like whatever it is that they're practicing, they're gonna get tired, and it can happen what happened with the my friend that I
Well, yeah,
told you, like
a
that
tennis
both
game.
kids just like I don't know the word in English, but in Portuguese you say espanou. It's like when you put in like a screw like this and suddenly it doesn't go anymore.
Right.
That's it.
Mm.
So it's important to have a life, to do other things, to go out. It doesn't matter. Each kid likes different things, like to go out with friends, to go to a movie, to go, stay with the parents
Whatever.
and whatever.
But
Yeah.
you said it. That's you answered the question right there. You just said it. That was beautiful. You didn't even realize you answered the question without even saying the answer. You said have a life outside of their profession. I'll
Yeah.
have a life because you need balance. That's what want. I'm trying to get is balance. You need balance. I mean, spend time with your family, spend time with your friends, your real friends. Because when you become a professional, everybody wants to be your friend. Your real friends, because you'll know them sooner or later. You'll know if they're real friends.
Yeah.
Also, do other things outside of what you do. Because remember, as a professional athlete, that's your job. That brings money to the table. That brings money that pays your bills. It's not the
Yeah.
same when you are in college. You go in because you're getting an education and someone's paying for it or paying part of it or whatever the case may be. So that's the reason why I wanted to. I got that answer. You gave me the answer. You gave me the answer. You didn't realize you gave
Good.
me the
Good.
answer. It's like you got to have a balanced life because that's one reason why I had this show is you going pro. But people think, as I stated earlier in the show, Monty, people think because I say you going pro, it's all about just being a professional in sports. No, we're trying to get you to be proficient in every area of your life. That's on
Yeah.
and off the field. And that's something that I like to talk about all the time because think about it. There's a lot of kids or young boys and young women, they go pro and they get bankrupt or they do things that normally they shouldn't do or get into drugs or get into some gambling or anything. It happens. So that's the reason of this show is so I can bring clarity and make things simplify, give you some answers to some things that people are looking for.
Yeah. I don't have the formula. I don't think anyone has the formula, right? Because it's not only about me or how I educate them, but it's about them, like how they got this information, how they use this, right? About their passions. And so I think I was successful in doing two young kids that are happy.
Mm,
And that for me as a mom, I think that's what make me like happy is when I see them happy, you know.
okay.
And if one day one of them come to me and say, I don't want to be a pro anymore, I'm going to do something else, it's fine. They have to be happy. That's it. I think they have to pursue that. And really, that's their only obligation. Like with everything that they had, they have to be happy. Maybe it's
Hmm.
playing golf. Maybe one day it's not playing golf anymore.
Right. Right.
You know,
And so, will you tell the parents to make sure you encourage them the same way you did to become a pro when they're not a pro? Would you say that?
what?
So, let me
No.
rephrase the question. So,
Okay, okay.
I'm sorry, parents that encourage their kids to go pro when they're not a professional have the same intensity after they don't become a pro. Other words, keep the same love, the same passion for them to go pro as a parent after they become a pro. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
some parents, they just shut out.
No.
That's what I'm trying to.
No. I will never. You never shut down your kid. It's just like they are a pro now, but it's like sometimes you change jobs.
Correct.
So,
Correct. Right. This
right?
is It's right. That's right. I just wanted to make sure. I know your answer, but I know some
Yeah.
people may think that way. Well, he's already made his money. He can just do
No. But
whatever.
no, he always gonna be my kids, my boys,
It's always going to be your babies,
my
your
babies.
boys. But
Yes.
but
Yes.
thank you very much, Marty. It has been a blast. And as I stated before, I like to end the show with a good word. Is there anything encouraging that you'd like to say before we get off the air? Anything
Mm,
encouraging?
encouraging.
Yeah, for moms and dads.
Oh, yeah, just follow your dreams and work hard for that, because sometimes it's not going to be easy at all. Sometimes you're going to really want to give up. Or sometimes I want to tell them it's too hard for you guys. Just give up. As a mom, I don't want to see them suffering, but I cannot say this, and it's their life, and we're just here to support, and that's it. It's not easy, but it's worth it.
All right, it's not easy, but it's worth it. So anything worth having is worth working for it. You may have to take some
Yes.
time, but work through it, get through it. And this is your host, the very own Coach Laurie, with Madi Biondi, with the two lovely legends, boys. They play golf and gamer, Fred Biondi and Leo Biondi, the professional golfer and professional gamer. Madi, it has been a blast, a pleasure, and I
Thank
want to
you
say
so
thank you,
much.
thank you, thank you.
Thank
If you
you.
guys love this show, please feel free to go to my YouTube channel. Is YouGoin'Pro at YouGoin'Pro. I would love to give you some tips. We have weekly tips every week, every Tuesday night. I'm signing off right now. Have a great and a blessed day. See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.